For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
This is Mammoth Daily
We're going to take you inside the locker room
with Mike Folta.
We want this show to be about the fans, and we want this show to be driven by our Utah Mammoth community.
And Adrian Denny.
Fans can submit what they want to hear us talk about, what they want to hear Utah weigh in on. It's all going to be here.
Here's Mike and AD with you.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Right here on Mammoth Daily.
Good Friday, everybody. Welcome to Mammoth Daily. Adrian Denny with you after a 3-0 victory for the Utah Mammoth over the Philadelphia Flyers on Thursday night. We're going to lead off the show with Nick Schmaltz, who got his 24th of the year, 8 seconds into Utah's first power play, and 1 minute and 38 seconds into the second period to put Utah on the board. And for the 11th straight game, the Mammoth score first in. They go on to win. Win number 33 for Utah. Gunther and Dursey picking up the assists. That power play continuing to roll for the Mammoth. Now 7 power play goals in their last 7 games. Nick Schmaltz is going to lead us off. We'll hear from Vitek Vanacek, head coach André Tourigny. Mike Folta, Nick Olczyk, and Matt McConnell are back. They'll have another edition of Mike's Morning After. On Tuesday's contest in Washington, we talked about it on Wednesday's episode of how just kind of the team mentality and mindset pushed them over the top in that game. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how team defense, regardless of who is in the lineup. They were without Mikhail Sergachev on Thursday night, and how that, with them being as connected as they are, is so big as we start to make that push into mid-March, April, and the playoffs. A Friday free-for-all with the topics selected by you and a local hockey segment all coming up. Wherever you get your podcasts, we thank you for joining us on Mammoth Daily on Apple, Spotify, Utah Mammoth YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, and SEG Plus. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to us so you never miss an episode, including maybe later this afternoon. If the Mammoth make a trade before the 1 p.m. deadline, Mike and I will be back on your Friday afternoon with another edition of Mammoth Daily to completely unpack it. If you missed Thursday's episode, we had 25 minutes to lead us off on the all-new acquisition of Mackenzie Weegar. So we've got you covered. I'm Adrian Denny, Mike Folta, my co-host. We're your radio broadcast team on Hockey Night in Utah, and we're just delighted to be along with you for the ride Monday through Friday here on Mammoth Daily as the team continues to play well. The latest victory for the Mammoth was on Wednesday, the 3-0 win over Philadelphia. Nick Schmaltz started the scoring, and he starts us off here on this Friday edition of Mammoth Daily.
Yeah, I thought we were pretty good all night. I think we stuck with it. We didn't give them much. V made some really good saves when he needed to for us, and PK did a great job. Power play stepped up, so good all-around team effort. You know, they're kind of a stingy team. They don't give you much. It wasn't going to be the prettiest game, but you know, you got to find a way to win those games at this time of year, and that's a huge win and a really good start to the road trip. A little bit more direct. I think our transition game was really good. We were catching them, kind of hemming them in, good line changes, and just rolling them over and shooting a little bit more.
So Nick Schmaltz with that goal to get things started. Utah now 16-1 this year when he scores a goal. But again, it was a play that he made that didn't show up in the box score. Third period, Utah killing that penalty with the 2-0 lead. He knocked the puck away from Jamie Drysdale, pushed it back the other way. Dan Vladar, the goalie for Philly, races all the way out to play it. And as Nick Schmaltz is pursuing the puck, Trevor Zegras has to take a penalty and haul him down to keep Utah from having a wide open empty net. That eliminated the power play for Philadelphia, but Utah back in control with that 2-0 lead. So Nick Schmaltz scoring and Nick Schmaltz hunting pucks, another big factor in the Mammoth winning the game. Let's hear from head coach André Tourigny on number 8.
He's mature. He's a mature person, mature man, and He really wants to make the difference. I always say about Schmaltz, he's a gamer. He wants to play in those moments, and I think he's excited about where our team is at, and he wants to be a big part of it, and he is. He's a huge leader for us, and at key moment he's there.
So if you're watching that game on Wednesday, you don't see the lineup. You don't know that Utah's missing Mikhail Sergachev from that game. He's out day-to-day with a lower body injury. And Mackenzie Weegar, acquired in the trade, is yet to join the team as he waits for his immigration to be rubber stamped. Oli Mata, who played Tuesday, has been traded to Calgary. So the Mammoth call up Dmitry Simashev from Tucson, an AHL All-Star there, hasn't played in the NHL since December 1st. He comes up, doesn't miss a beat. Nick DeSimone back in the lineup. And then you have Vitek Vanacek on a night off for Karel Vejmelka as we play game 2 of 5 games on this road trip for the Mammoth over 8 days. Could you tell they were missing guys? They were a little short on D. They were playing their backup goalie. I don't think you could. They're so connected defensively. I'm going to get to more on that coming up after we get to Mike's Morning After. But first, let's hear from Vitek Vanacek, who made this save for Utah in the first period, robbing Bobby Brink. I thought it was in. I thought he had a wide open net in that scoreless first period. And Vitek comes out of nowhere to take that puck away, keep us scoreless. A 16 save shutout for him. Here's what he had to say after the game.
Felt really good. I didn't play for a long time, with the break, and then try to be in my bubble, and then not thinking about anything, just save the puck and then help the teammates, because I know they always gonna score for me. It's always feeling good when you make a good save, but like a goalie, you're trying to be calm, because it's just one save, and then more gonna come, so you have to be dialed in.
So Vitek looking good, wins his second straight start, his first start since January 27th when he stopped 27-30 in that victory against Florida. Stops all 16 he sees, but the rate of quality scoring chances for Vitek, probably the same as if he would have saw 30 shots. He made some big saves. For those of you on Mammoth Plus and YouTube, you saw one of them. So Mammoth take it by a count of 3-0, even with being without Mikhail Sergachev, without Mackenzie Weegar yet, and calling up Dmitry Simashev. He was ready to go. Let's get more on the game right now. Let's get to Mike Folta wandering around the parking lot after the game and see who else he can incorporate into this segment here on Mike's Morning After.
Coming to you victorious on Mike's Morning After following a 3-0 win for the Utah Mammoth over the Philadelphia Flyers. We're wandering around outside of Xfinity Mobile Arena, newly named. But Vitek Vanacek, one of the stars of the show, 16 saves, his first shutout of the season. And he had goals from the Stars. The Stars came to play. I think that is maybe the biggest storyline, is that it's 2 games now where you've had your best players be your... What the... Hey, walked right in the middle of my shot, man.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
From the TV side, Matt McConnell. Hey, Matty, I was just saying, this is 2 games in a row now where, I think that was
Danny
Briere.
Danny Briere. Kind of waved.
Yeah. So that's 2 games in a row now where Utah's best players have been their best players.
Yeah. I mean, systematic. It was, to me, it was a complete game. And I said that to Nick when we started the post-game show tonight on Mammoth Plus and Utah 16. They're hitting a groove, and dare I say, when they've got their game going, you watch them every night, Mike. They can beat anybody in this league, and they can beat them with consistency. So I was really impressed tonight. Best players were at the forefront of the game, like you said. Vitek Vanacek hadn't played since the end of January. He pitches a shutout. The glove save on Bobby Brink, incredible. So they're hitting their stride at the right time. Mackenzie Weegar down the road, right? He's coming in once he gets his immigration done. I'm excited. I think this is the best we've seen him play. and they're going to be a dangerous out if they get in.
How about this? You don't have your best defenseman, Mikhail Sergachev, and you pitch a shutout. Now, a lot of that's Vitek Vanacek, right?
Yeah.
But the 6 guys who were in played pretty darn good. Simishev looked really good.
Well, they didn't give many time and space, right? And Andre talked about that going into the game. He said, look, these guys are still, they can make plays. You just can't allow them to get it cranked up. They didn't do that the whole night, right? Like they were just no time and space, great sticks. Nick Schmaltz continues to be, I think, so good at both ends of the ice. Defensively, he's terrific. It's been a lot of fun. I think we got another straggler here coming in. Look at this guy. Get in here.
All right, so a moment ago we had Danny Brierick's drive by, and now we have you.
Flyers legend.
Flyers.
Yeah, Danny Brierick, current general manager.
That's right. Nikki, what do you think?
Huge win. I thought they carried over a great first period from what they had in DC. They really didn't give the Flyers any room to breathe. I think the Flyers were a little bit flat. I did. But as the game went on in the neutral zone, Utah gave nothing. D stood up. Forwards came back. Nothing's perfect in life. It's pretty damn close to a perfect win there.
3-0 win. Vitek, really good. We were just talking about how the best players, What do you think of Dmitry Simishev in the game?
Didn't look out of place at all. I thought he was very noticeable. Maddie, you brought up the great speed that he had a couple of good rushes.
Confidence, right?
He did. He did. That was one thing he talked about with Sarah on the TV side, was the confidence that he got down in the American Hockey League playing for Tucson. He's looking like a confident guy, and I think it's when you get sent down, it's easy to pout. It's easy to feel pity and to feel sorry for yourself. He hasn't. He went down there. He worked at his game, and it's certainly shown at the NHL level.
Let's pack it up and get out of here. I think we might be in front of Keith Jones' car or something like that. 3-0 win. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Mike's morning after. Mike's way.
So you talk about the Mammoth and their defensive core. Hopefully, the last time in 6 years, we're talking about them being short defensively because they are so loaded among blue liners now. 3,821 games amongst their 8 defensemen, including Nick DeSimone and Dmitry Simishev, who have played barely 100 combined games in the NHL. You got Sergachev over 600. You got Uyghur in the same neighborhood. Cole over 800. You got Marino and Schmidt, and you can add Sean Dursey, right? Still a young guy, but he's got experience, and the Mammoth on the blue line look absolutely loaded. But they were just fine without Sergachev and without Mackenzie Uyghur, and with Simishev called up, and with DeSimone, and with Vanacek in for Vejmelka on a scheduled night off, just to give Veggie a little bit of a break. And same thing we saw without Logan Cooley. Lost the first 3 games without him, then went 16-8-1 without him. No Sergachev tonight, no problem. 3-0, the final, second straight game. Utah doesn't allow a 5-on-5 goal because they're so connected. They're so on the same page that they roll with it as 5-man units, regardless of who's in the lineup and who's not. That's a huge sign for Utah. And they've become one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. And it started last year through some adversity. Remember over the summer and that offseason, the NHL had just come to Utah, and Bill Armstrong and André Tourigny are saying, we're going to score. We just got to make sure we keep the puck out of our own net. And they win the first game 5-2, and the wild games in New York, and the wild game in Anaheim. And, they started 4-1-1, but they were without Dursey. They were without Marino. And you could tell there were some holes. And they completely shifted, really, their team identity. They became a defense-first team overnight. And all of a sudden, they're playing great defensive hockey, but they're not scoring enough when they went into some struggles last year. And then you get into January, and Karel Vejmelka takes over, gets in that groove, and you've got a chance to win every single night. And going into this offseason, you go out, you get another scorer, JJ Peterka. Mike and I were talking about it during training camp. You didn't average 3 goals a game last year. If you can get to 3+ goals a game this year, you're in a great spot. First road trip of the year. Allowed 2 goals in Colorado, lost first game of the year. Beat Nashville 3-2 in overtime. And then got 1 goal in Chicago, lost. We said, get 3 goals a game, you're going to be fine. 62 games into the season, the Mammoth are averaging over 3 goals a game. And that defense first hockey that they played last year, just to survive without Dursey and without Marino and just trying to piece it together without that defensive depth, well, that team identity has pushed into this season, and it's a huge part of the success Utah's having as 5-man units defensively. 7th in the NHL in goals allowed 5-on-5. Overall, it's even better. 4th in goals allowed. Total, 2.73. Only Colorado, Dallas, and Tampa Bay allow fewer goals total than the Mammoth. The defensive shift last year has pushed into this year, and with a more experienced team, with the added players that they've got, with Dursey and Marino healthy, that's elite. A top 5 team in goals allowed, ranking 4th behind only Colorado, Dallas, and Tampa Bay. They're 6th in 5-on-5 goals for, so they're scoring goals. And now the power play is back and rolling. The goal differential is 6th in the NHL at plus 27. We talked about how the metrics this year look great for Utah. And in November and December, metrics look fine. They're not winning the games. We talked about why. The schedule was a gauntlet. They pushed through it. And now look at this. Look at this in January as the Mammoth now have this record of 15-6-1 in 2026. As they've pulled it all together, and it's playing as a unit, and you can get through games without Vejmelka playing every night because Vanacek's a good backup. He was acquired by Florida last year to back up Sergei Bobrovsky at the trade deadline. They had made a trade. They traded Spencer Knight to Chicago for Seth Jones, and they called up Chris Drieger, a veteran AHL and NHL goalie, to be their backup. And then they had a chance at the last seconds get Vanacek. Playoff experience with New Jersey, a 32-win season with them in 22-23. Brought him in to be the backup. So it's why Bill handpicked him on July 1st to be the backup. He's a gamer. The players love him. And you see what he can do when he has a chance. The amount of back-to-backs he's played in this year, he's played in a lot. The goal support he's gotten this year hasn't gotten a lot. Just over 2 a game going into Thursday. And that includes the game against Florida that the Mammoth put up 4. But in his last 2 starts, they've gotten him 7, and he's 2-0. And he's 2-0-1 in his last 3 starts. Nobody's numbers look good in November and December, but now you got Vanacek, and you're not really feeling like, gosh, we only have 3 back-to-backs left. If we can play Veggie all but 3 of those games in the final 20, we'll be okay. Now you feel good about it. You don't have to run Veggie out every single night, even if it's not a back-to-back, because you got Vanacek. You've got the 5-man unit playing some of the best defensive hockey in the league, allowing the 4th fewest goals in the league. You've scored the 6th most 5-on-5 goals, and now you got the power play cranking. The Florida Panthers in 21-22 had the best record in the NHL, won the President's Cup, lost in the second round of the playoffs, and they won games during the regular season, 6-4, 5-4, 7-5, 6-3. It didn't work in the playoffs. And so they made a coaching change. They brought in Paul Maurice. It took them a full season to figure it out. They were fighting it in January, trying to play their new system of defense first hockey that they wanted to play to win the playoffs. And they qualified for the playoffs barely. Got to the Stanley Cup final, lost to Vegas. Now they've won 2 straight, employing that heavy-hitting, defensive branded hockey, but 5-on-5 they're pretty well connected too. And you look at the Mammoth and how strong they are defensively just by going out every night and playing the game plan with the players they've added, like adding Mackenzie Weegar. I really think Utah's in a great spot here. We talked about the mindset and the way they bounce back on Wednesday's episode and how they do that seemingly every time after they lose. And they'll lose 2 in a row before the year's over. They'll probably lose 3 in a row. But it's the body of work. And so we talked about the mentality, talked about the way they bounce back. And on today's episode, the numbers are just screaming at us how strong they are defensively, even when they don't have the best defenseman on the team in the lineup. Same thing in those 28 games without Logan Cooley. Lost the first 3 and then got the engine running again. 16-8-1. So that's the exciting thing about this team. You want everybody in the lineup every single night, but on a night where you don't play Vejmelka, give him a night off, you don't have Sergachev, you feel all right. You feel like you're going to be fine. And your stars are your stars. Clayton Keller, after Schmaltz knocked that puck away, it was a great play by Schmaltz. Got it up to Gunther, who skated in and was there to feed Keller for that goal. And I was watching that. I'm like, did Schmaltz get a piece of that as Travis Sanheim tried to wrap it around? And he did. He was credited with an assist after the game. So Schmaltz, a multiple point game, 1 goal and 1 assist with the late addition there. So we got for you leading off on Mammoth Daily. Adrian Denny with you. When we come back, our Friday free-for-all. Last week, we invited you to solicit topics. And if we picked one of your topics, you'd get a gift card to the team store. We've got 3 topics we're going to hit coming up. One of them's a hockey topic. One of them's a fun hockey topic. And one of them is just a fun topic. It's the Friday free-for-all, after all. So we'll get to that. And then our local hockey segment has some good stuff on our local college teams. So stay close, folks. It's a Friday free-for-all edition of Mammoth Daily, and we're coming right back with that.
Get ready. Your Friday free-for-all is here.
Welcome into the craziest time of the week. It is the Friday free-for-all, and this is an elevated free-for-all because, AD, we have some gift cards to hand out to people who have suggested free-for-all topics to us. We had a bunch of great suggestions on in the YouTube comments. I got a bunch of notifications on Twitter as well. It was fun to scroll through those. But AD, were there any good ones before we start? Were there any good ones that did not make the list that you had flagged?
There were a ton of them, Mike. We got so many great topics solicited, and that's the best thing about being Mammoth Daily, Mike, is we're here every day. There's always going to be a next time, and there's always going to be a summer and an off season. So anything we don't get to today, I've got stashed to bring back for another edition, Mike, because they were all great questions. Could have done them all. Do 3 gift cards here to the team store, which first time doing this. You thought we were doing 1. I thought we were doing 3, so we're going to do 3.
So that is a testament to all of you. That is a testament to our day-to-dayers for all the great suggestions, because I had only agreed to 1. How this is working is like I've got the team card, so to speak, and I'm just going to walk over to the Mammoth team store and swipe it for three different $25 gift cards. This is my card, right? It's not coming out of my bank account, but it has my name on it. And Adrian's like, yeah, let's just do 3.
Put it on the card.
Yeah, just throw it on the card. And so we're doing 3 now. We're doing 3 because we had so many great suggestions and we wanted to include some of our favorites. But AD, what's the first winner that we have? Who is our first winner?
Let's get to Don. We're going to do a hockey topic. We're going to do a fun hockey topic, and then we're just going to do a fun topic. So let's get to it right here with Don. He says, I need to know more about the glue guys. I find the last three forwards, quote unquote, fascinating because Turbo, Spicy Tuna, and Yams are all great players. You don't have time for all of them. And it seems like the team plays slightly differently depending on the combination of the three. And it seems like it's not necessarily the most producing lineups that lead to the best results for the team. Also, a hot take from Don. He says Keller's the glue guy for the United States men's national team. When he's on, the team wins. When he's not, we don't. Good stuff there. Mike, it's a unique thing. The third line guys, the fourth line guys, the energy they provide, and they're simple and their motors are always going, and it's something that creates momentum. When they're on the ice, they have the ability to change games. So as Don says, with the USA roster, Mike, it wasn't necessarily the most producing roster for Team USA at the Olympics, but you had your glue guys like the Mammoth do with guys on their third and fourth lines.
I love the word you use, momentum, there, because I think that's the key with the fourth line. It reminds me of how we've heard power plays described. You need to eventually score on a power play, but you don't have to score every time. What you do need to accomplish with a power play is generate some momentum that can translate to 5-on-5. And that is what the fourth line is called to do night in and night out. And that's kind of just a generalism, an axiom of hockey, but it's especially true for the Utah Mammoth because the fourth line is maybe the one line this year where you'd like to see more offense from. Haven't had a lot of scoring from that group. Kevin Stenlund had a career high in goal scoring last year, hasn't had the same numbers this year. And his line mates, whoever's been down there on that fourth line, they haven't scored very many goals either. They're not going to be relied upon to score night in and night out, but you do need to have positive shifts out of them. So when you send the fourth line over there, it could be a big hit or something like that gets the boys going. But more than anything, it's time in the offensive zone. It's being sound defensively, matching up against other teams' second and third lines, and then continuing to cycle the puck in the offensive zone, wearing down the other team's defense, and then eventually the top 2-3 lines come over the wall, and then that's a better chance for you guys to score. But it starts with that fourth line generating momentum, as you said, AD. And you'll notice a lot of times after the Mammoth gets scored on or they score a goal themselves, head coach André Tourigny will throw that fourth line over the wall for the ensuing faceoff to try and either continue momentum or to stem momentum back in the Mammoth's favor.
And I'm excited of the fourth line situation now, Mike. There hasn't been a lot of offense created, as you said. Tanev has had 10-goal seasons, so O'Brien can put the puck in the net. Stenlund, the 14 goals last year, but as it stands right now, you got Kerfoot, 10 to 20 goals a year for his career. Carcone, less than 2 years from scoring 21 goals. He's up to 11 right now. I think we're going to get some big goals here from that fourth line going down the stretch, but it's just kind of a different wrinkle, Mike, as you said. If they can hop over the boards, flip a puck into the corner, go grind for it, and keep the puck in the offensive zone for 20, 30 seconds, and then you bring out the Keller line, and they continue to go to work. And then you bring out the Peterka line, and they keep going. And then all of a sudden, you've rolled all four lines. You've got the opponent pinned in, and you're rolling. So good question, Don.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Congratulations. $25 coming to you for the Mammoth Teen Store. See, this is what it takes to win these competitions, Adrian. It takes some thoughtfulness, some hockey acumen definitely helps, but also a hot take thrown in there. That always is going to elevate your stock when we're looking at things and sifting through the resumes.
All right, let's take another one, Mike. Good question here coming to us from Brett. And he says, AD and Mike do a non-position draft using Mammoth players and using all-time players. So each of you pick 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie, where you put the player not in their position. Forwards are either a defenseman or a goalie. Defense are either forwards or a goalie. Goalie is either a forward or a defense. For the Mammoth, you could use a Tucson guy. And it'd be fun to see where you're at. Mike, you want to do this? You want to go?
Okay, yeah. I did not prepare for this.
Let's do, for the sake of simplicity and time, let's do the Mammoth roster right now, and let's start with goalies. So we'll pick two non-positional goalies to be goalies. So one for each of us. I'm going to put Liam O'Brien in the goalie pads and the gear, and I'm going to get him a sick mask, and I'm going to make Liam O'Brien a goalie.
Hold on. I think I got to check my player notes. I think Sean Dursey started as a goalie as a youth player, and then basically his parents were like, yeah, you're not doing that. Does that sound right to you?
It does. I remember that conversation.
Okay, I'm going to go with Dursey then. Yes. Originally played goalie until his mom forced him to play defense. So he's got at least some background. You got spicy tuna. I feel good about Dursey. I think that's the right pick there.
Okay, let's do D here, Mike. So in terms of defensemen, how about, do you take a fast forward and flip him around? Do you take a Michael Carcone and make him a D?
If you're taking Carcone, I'm going to have the best defense here, with all due respect to Mike.
I want to see it. I want to see the speed on the back end.
No, I'm going to take. You're just going with speed here. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with guys who are more defensive minded. Give me Kevin Stenlund.
Okay.
Big, right? Okay, skater, but very sound defensively, going to win battles in the corner for me. And then so he's probably my stay-at-home D. Who's my puck mover? I'm going to say Nick Schmaltz. Sneaky speed, really good defensive stick. Leads the league in stick checks as of a couple weeks ago, at least. I'm going to go with, does that give me, hold on a sec. Schmaltz is a lefty?
It's a righty.
He's a righty. Stenlund's a righty too, right?
Yeah.
That gives me two righty D. I can't do that. Whatever. Schmaltz will play his offside.
I'm going to take Lawson Krause to pair with Carcone. So I'll do two left D. You do two right D.
Okay. We planned that one well. We'd be great coaches, great GMs.
We play fantasy. Right. We know what we're doing.
Okay. Defense who play forwards now. Do you want to go first here?
Sure. I'm taking Karel Vejmelka because of his offensive numbers. He's got 2 assists this year. Only one goalie in the NHL has 3 assists. Veggie has 2. He's in the top scoring among NHL goalies.
Okay. 2 more.
Next one. I'm going to take Nate Schmidt because I like his shot.
Okay.
He can get up and down the wing. I'll take Nate Schmidt. And then for my final forward, who isn't a forward, what do you think about John Marino? I like how he navigates the offensive end.
Okay, he's got some instinct.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah, this is great question, Brett. Great suggestion. Okay, your 3 forwards. I've got Dursey in net. I've got Stenlund and Schmaltz playing D. I am calling up Jackson Stauber from the Tucson Roadrunners to play the wing. He scored a goal as a goalie, and he's a very good skating goalie as well. His dad, Rob Stauber, instilled that into him. His dad, Rob, was known as the goalie who was never in the net. Jackson has a little bit of that as well. Good skater, handles the puck a lot. So I feel good about calling up Jackson Stauber and putting him up there on the wing, just so we can get a goalie in a position spot. That's more fun. How can you not take Sergachev? I'll throw. He's going to be my centerman. That he's my franchise piece at center. Gosh, I really like the Schmidt pick. That's good. Schmidt and Marino, they have that chemistry. And I already have Dursey playing the net. I'm running out of options here. I'll take I'll take Nick DeSimone. I'll put him on the other wing. Straight line player, predictable. Sergachev and Stauber. That's a hell of a front line.
All right. Great stuff. So I have O'Brien in goal, Carconi and Krause on D, Vejmelka, Schmidt, and Marino up front. Great stuff.
I think my
Mike.
team is dummying your team. Sergachev taking faceoffs against who? Schmidt? Vejmelka?
Or Vejmelka.
Marino? What an exercise.
All right.
That's wonderful.
Great stuff, Brett. All right. So we've done the hockey question. We've done the fun hockey question. Now let's do our fun question. And it comes to us from Weston. Friday free-for-all. If AD and Mike were roommates, who's buying the groceries and who's begging for a box of mac and cheese? Who's out late and who's getting a good night's sleep? Who's leaving the lights on all the time? Who's the one cleaning up and who couldn't care less how the place looks? And who's the first one that finally goes and gets their own place?
I think there's going to be a similar theme that pops out. First of all, you just had a cleaning lady come over. So whoever keeps it clean, like that's going to be me. I'm going to be the one doing the dishes. Will you even have dishes if you're just doing microwave mac and cheese all the time?
I'm bringing Carmen to the place with us. We'll have a housekeeper.
Thank you. Thanks, Wes. Thanks for that. Can you pull it up again, AD?
Yep.
Just so I can read him here. Let's go. Let's do line item by line item. Who's buying groceries consistently and who's begging for a box of mac and cheese? Well, I'm the only one that makes any food, so it'd have to be me,
Yep.
right? Can we agree on that?
And I don't grocery shop. I get everything delivered. So yeah, Mike would be out shopping, wasting his time grocery shopping. As
Picking the best produce.
I mean, Mike, I'd be more than happy to add you to the Walmart Plus subscription and give you the app password stuff so you can order groceries from Walmart. It's the way to go.
It actually would be a great suggestion for me because I'm on the road all the time. My groceries go bad. Who's out late and who's getting a good night's sleep? I would like to get good night's sleeps, but I'm out. We're both out late a lot with game nights.
I've been much better first of the year here, Mike, of getting to bed and getting well rested. And by that, I mean not falling asleep on the couch and stumbling in, early on in the morning. Because when you get to the NHL, you don't have to be in the office every day, Mike. Like, schedule's a little different. And for me, the first year and a half of this, like, I don't have to be up. I don't have to be anywhere until morning skate at 10:30, practice at 11:30. I'm going to enjoy this. And I fall asleep on the couch. I wake up, I stumble into bed, and then I can't wake up in the morning. So since the first of the year, I made a good effort at bedtime, turn off the TV, turn off the screen time, go to bed, go to sleep, and I'm much, much more prepared to
for those of you who don't know, Adrian wakes up at like 4:30 every morning and runs like 12 miles before I'm even awake. So
see that was the problem. Couldn't get up. And it's like, why can't I get up it's 9 a.m. and I can't get out of bed? Because you just laid on the couch, you weren't resting well, and you stumbled in the middle of the night to go to bed. So I've changed some habits around here, Mike, to just to be a little more structured and organized. Because waking up to work out at 9-ish, and then by the time that's all done, it's noonish and the day's gone. So made some adjustments.
Who's leaving the lights on all the time? I don't really do that. I'm pretty judicious with the lights.
I don't turn on lights. I only do natural lighting.
What?
I don't turn on the lights unless I really don't, honestly. When I get home, yeah, when it gets dark, it gets dark, and I don't have the lights on unless I need them on for something, unless I'm doing Mammoth Daily after a game. But outside of that, I don't have the lights on at night.
Are you anti-light bulb?
I feel like lights. I feel like your brain needs to wind down, and I feel like lights keep your break. Lights keep your brain moving 100 miles an hour when your brain needs to slow down. And I feel like by not turning on lights when it's dark outside, you do that.
Yeah, but okay. I was just about to ask, what if you need to like see what you're doing in the kitchen? But then I remembered the microwave has a little light on it that you can probably find your way through the kitchen to.
You turn on a light and you turn it off. So I don't leave the lights on.
This is a strange existence. It lives in the bat cave. Like,
natural light. I love natural light. I wake up with
dark.
The
it gets dark at like 5:30. You're telling me you're not like turning lights on?
No, because when it's dark, the brain is ready to wind down.
I don't even know where to go. We would be great roommates, as you can see. Who is the one cleaning up, and who would care less about how the place looks? I try to be clean. I'm not dirty, but I can succumb to clutter. I will admit that.
I hate clutter. I make my bed every day. I don't like stuff. I don't accumulate stuff, and Carmen comes over and handles the rest of the stuff. But I do make my bed every day, and I don't like. I'm not a hoarder.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I just like a lot of stuff going around. You know, you carrying.
Nobody said you were, Mike. See, we're already fighting. We don't even live together yet.
Who's the first one that finally goes and gets their own place? I don't think I would leave. I think I would get kicked out for leaving the light on for 2 minutes.
No, I don't like to move. Everything I've done at any place I've ever lived, Mike, has been geared towards when you have to move, because it's a lot of work to move, and I don't like to move. So
it's not a lot of work if you don't have a lot of stuff, which you say you don't. So
yeah. So it's all geared towards what do you do when you have to move, and that's not have a lot of stuff, and the brain is geared towards we don't need to move anymore. So
okay, all right,
what we got. So I think we'd probably stay together because we're both loyal. We're both single for the foreseeable future, and I don't think there'd be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, understand each other's schedules. There would be something. I mean, we just argued for 20 minutes about this. There would be something. There'd be something. I remember really enjoying living with roommates, but then living on my own for the last few years, I don't think I could go back to roommates. But
I'd probably be fine with it. Ever since I graduated from college, I've lived by myself, been single.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it is fun having roommates. It is. There's something to it to have to like care for another person. You know, it doesn't have to be a spouse or like a romantic relationship, but just acknowledging the existence of another person, I think is healthy. And I remember learning a lot through that process with different roommates. But thank you to. Oh, go ahead.
Final story, Mike, on this. When I graduated from college, me and my buddy Ryan had talked about getting a place together, being roommates, and we went to look at apartments, and we're like, why don't we just get our own apartment in the same complex and we'll just be neighbors? And that's what we did. So that's as close as I've ever come to having a roommate.
Well, thank you to Weston, to Brett, and to Don as well for your submissions. You guys all are winners of our first giveaway. Kind of fun to have a giveaway here. I think we might do some more of that. AD, what do you say?
Works for me, Mike. It's your company card, so let's keep putting it to use.
It's my company card that apparently you have jurisdiction over. Just waving that thing around handing out $25 team store gift cards. We are thinking about upping the increment as well. I am just going to say that. I'm not going to say anything else before I get myself in trouble. But thank you for all who have submitted, and for Don, Brett, and Weston, we'll get in touch with you guys and distribute the goods. But can't wait to see everybody or talk to everybody back on the road. Mammoth will be at the Blue Jackets tomorrow night in Columbus at Nationwide Arena. So I'll talk to everybody then. And then we've got coming up in just a bit, we have our local hockey segment as well to round out your Friday episode of Mammoth Daily.
This is Mammoth Daily.
Welcome back on Mammoth Daily. Adrian Denny with you. Want to throw another shout out to our local college hockey teams that are going off to nationals. The University of Utah, Weber State, and Utah State. You can support all three programs and their trips to nationals by just going to their Instagram pages. They're off to St. Louis to represent the Beehive State in hockey. And for the University of Utah hockey team, they're having a nationals apparel sale. You can go to utahhockey.com, buy 2 items, get 26% off to help support their trip to St. Louis. So check it out. We love our ACHA teams. You got Utah, the D1 team, the Skating Utes finished ranked 12th out of 81 teams in D1. So congratulations to them and good luck. And they also are going to be practicing at the Utah Mammoth Ice Center on Monday. So excited to have the Utes there at our brand new facility down at Southtown at the Utah Mammoth Ice Center. So if you can, check out the fundraising options for those 3 teams. And if you want some Utah hockey merch, utahhockey.com, 26% off when you get 2 items. Moving on, how about the Vernal Oilers? Mike and I talked about them last week. Their undefeated season last year, their national championship. How about this year? 42-2. Playoffs open for them tonight, hosting the McCall Smoke Jumpers at the Western Park Arena in Vernal. So that's going on as they open their run, looking to repeat. So good luck to the Vernal Oilers as they get things going to start their playoff run. And we've got the Ogden Hockey League back by request. We've got some highlights here as the Bisons beat the Scorpions by a count of 5-4. I want to throw a shout out to Jay, Dylan, Cody, Kane, and Kane for getting us these highlights from the Ogden Hockey League up at the Weber County ice sheet. So if you want to submit something we can cover here on our local hockey segment, just leave a comment in the YouTube replies. Hit us up on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm at 801 Adrian Denny. That's at 801 Adrian Denny on Twitter and on Instagram. So the local hockey segment is spearheaded by Utah. So anything you can get us to cover at any level, we would absolutely love to. Mammoth back in action in Columbus coming up on Saturday, 5 p.m. The puck drops will be on the air at 4 p.m. on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, and transitioning to 12:80 a.m. at 5 when the Jazz pregame comes on as they continue their road trip. We've got Disney on Ice at the Delta Center this week and this weekend. So Jazz and Mammoth both out on the road. Folks, thanks for another fun week of Mammoth Daily. And again, if you're listening or watching this before the trade deadline at 1 p.m. on Friday, if anything happens, Mike and I will be back for your afternoon drive home with a special edition of Mammoth Daily to uncover any breaking news for the Mammoth. Have a great Friday, and we'll talk to you on Hockey Night in Utah coming up tomorrow as the Mammoth take on the red-hot Columbus Blue Jackets, 14-2-1 in their last 17 as they'll look to start the trip 3-0.